all the time I would struggle to sleep. My quality of life just completely tanked, complete overwhelm. Literally feel the cortisol in my body. Stress led to physical manifestation of me getting ill so quickly, to the point they started to investigate me for other things. And I think the worst part was that I actually thought that was normal. How can you actually reduce your stress? Right, I think I'm gonna start a podcast setup. This is my yellow beanbag. It makes me feel like I work for Google. That's honestly why I have it. This is so weird. I think secretly I've always wanted my own podcast, but I've just not had the confidence to be able to do it. I don't know what this will be, but I know that health is so much deeper than just what you're prescribed. Health is up here. Health is how you live your life. I want to help people live better lives. That's what's important to me. Maybe one day I will open up about the health challenges that I have had, because I'm still in it right now. And it's made me confront a lot within myself about how I'm living life, about my thoughts, everything up here. And I think this is the most important thing. So, something I've really had to confront in myself is my relationship with stress. Stress is something we all feel. It's an inevitable part of life. And especially if you're someone that has any kind of goals, it's a part of the journey. You are going to be stressed. But for me, it was a whole different level. And I think a lot of people will be able to relate with this. Medical school was tough. Getting into medical school, going through medical school was really tough, in the way that I could literally feel the cortisol in my body. I was just always on. All the time I would struggle to sleep. I was just thinking and doing and stressed, and why isn't this working out, and I need to do this and I need to do that, and then wasn't present with my family, my friends. My quality of life just completely tanked because you can't focus on anything. You just can't be present. You're always worrying. You're overstimulated, and that's no way to live. And the impact on my body, I was just sick all the time, to the point I actually got my tonsils out as an adult. And looking back, now I don't actually think I needed that. I really don't think I needed that. And that is a classic example of how stress led to physical manifestation of me getting ill so quickly, to the point they started to investigate me for other things. I had so much cortisol in my body that I was just gonna get sick quicker than other people. And I think the worst part was that I actually thought that was normal. I thought that's how life is meant to be lived. I thought if you're an ambitious person and you want to get somewhere, that's exactly what I need to be doing. The mental side of that was complete overwhelm of not feeling good enough, constantly feeling like I'm sinking because I have so much to do and it's still not enough. Constantly feeling like I'm failing. It just wasn't a fun place to be in. You can see how this becomes a perpetual cycle of then that feeling leading you to be more stressed. And I think a huge part of that's also hustle mentality. Everyone at med school is so competitive, and it feels like everyone's doing a million things at once and they're working loads, so you feel like you need to work loads. And this is just medicine because it's my experience. I've also been in the startup world and the business world, and it's exactly the same. Your lack of sleep, your number of hours is a badge of honor. And I think that's some toxic ass. I don't know if I can swear on YouTube. And now I realise that that's so messed up. That is not how life is meant to be lived. Maybe that is for a small sector of people. That's not how I want to live life. That's not the experience of life I want and deserve. And I listened to this podcast by Arianna Huffington, and she talks about joy as well as productivity. It's the fact that you have goals and they add to your life. You're not meant to kill yourself on the way to get there. And she talks about her journey with burnout, collapsing and realising that she was doing too much. The ultimate state to reach is joy and productivity. And when you are productive, if it's at the expense of your health or your well-being, that's not productivity, that's toxic. And all of this made me really think about what success looks like to me. Because I am someone who is super driven. I am someone who wants to achieve things in life, but at what expense? And I really realised that I wasn't having an enjoyable experience of life. I want my goals, but I want to have a life with that. And that's where the change came for me. So, onto the more practical side of it. How can you actually reduce your stress? Especially if you are someone who has goals, is driven, wants to still do that, which I really think you should, but do it in a healthy way. And not in a way in which you end up burning out, and it's frankly unsustainable for your life and the other parts of your life. Things that have helped me: walks really help me to slow down. One will be at the start of the day and one will be midday. Walks from a physiological perspective will reduce your cortisol. So obviously we want that. We are in a stress state. That will naturally bring down your cortisol and improve your mood. And there's tons of studies to support that. What I actually also love to do alongside, and this is a little bit, it's not sneaky, but I'll take out my phone and I will literally pretend like I'm on the phone to someone or pretend like I'm voice noting. But I'm actually speaking to myself the entire time, because I think it's about challenging your internal dialogue. I take my thoughts to court. What is the evidence? What are the facts? Thoughts and feelings are not facts. Number 2, I'm a big proponent of journaling. Journaling has completely changed my life. It's given me a level of awareness and a space to objectively challenge myself in the best ways. So I'll write down in one colour the 3-4 things that are stressing me out, and in a different colour underneath that I will write down what's in my control, what's not in my control, and what's in my control I will write down a set of actions. And that's the action plan, because feel your feelings but don't overfeel your feelings. That's something for another day, but it's important to mention. The third thing that's really helped me to reduce my stress is this should thinking. Should thinking is a type of cognitive distortion, and that's when you're more likely to see things through a negative way. I would always think, oh, but I should be doing this. I should be here. Should according to who? It's an arbitrary timeline. If it's not the right pace for me, it's not right. That's the only timeline that should matter. My pace, which is in line also now with my well-being and my joy. If productivity is affecting any of that, that is not the right pace for me anymore. So I'm letting go of this should thinking, because it adds to expectation, because then you by default have expectations of yourself, and when you fall short of them, that's when the stress comes in. That's when the doubt creeps in. The last thing I've been doing for about 2 months, and I can see directly how it affects my thinking in other areas of my life. Weight training. Hear me out, right? Hear me out on this one. Small, consistent actions being reps, sticking to a workout routine, hitting your protein goal each day. Those small actions show you that with consistency, you can achieve anything over time. My body is changing, and I'm seeing that from the smallest of actions. One of the things that used to stress me out was that I always felt the need to do big, drastic changes. And now I'm seeing I actually don't. I can actually have huge results from the smallest of actions. And I think that's what weight training has taught me. I hope that was of value. I want to do a roundup of things that I've learned in the week, and there are so many things to talk about, to share, to discuss. I hope you guys found it useful. To those that stuck to the end of the video, you guys are real ones. I just want it to be helpful. So let me know what you'd like to see. Let me know if this was helpful, if this wasn't helpful. A bit crazy, really. But yeah, let me know what you guys think.